Hey, how's it going? It's Sean Bradshaw from Cyberfret.com, and in this lesson, I'm going to show you a little country lick that uses some half-step bends. Alright, so what we're going to do here is start off on your third string at the second fret. You're going to bend that note up a half step, one fret. We want to really hear that as two separate notes. Then I'm going to play the second string open. And that's just three half steps in a row. And then I'm going to put my third finger on the third fret of the third string, bend that up a half step, and then play the second string at the first fret. And again, that's kind of three half steps in a row. It would be the same as if I was playing those three notes like this. So we have this sound that goes, but utilizing the bends. And then I'm going to take and with my pinky play the second string at the third fret. And then I'm going to do what's called a reverse bend. I'm going to take this note on the second fret of the third string, bend it up a half step before I even pick, and let that back down. Then do a pull off from the second fret there to the open. Then second fret on the fourth string, second fret on the third string, back to the fourth string, second fret, and then it finally ends on the open third string. Now I can take this idea of this lick and kind of shift it to a movable form. That was actually in the key of G, and that last note is kind of the centering point, the G note. So when I finally end on that G, that's the kind of the root of this lick. This lick can be played over a G major or also kind of a G blues sound, G7. Now, if I wanted to play the same thing in kind of a movable format, then here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to shift this all the way up the neck so that I'm doing this starting on the 14th fret of the third string. So it's really the same notes that I just played, only it's an octave higher. So with this one, that last note, just like the other one, that note is G. And so if I wanted to move this lick around, I need to use that as my centering point. So for instance, if I wanted to play this lick in the key of D, then I would want to make sure that the last note of that is a D note on the third string, which would end up being here at the 7th fret. So that I actually start the lick 2 frets higher than the D, because that's kind of where the lick starts, is 2 frets higher than where the root is, that last note. So if I wanted to play this in D, then it would be right here. Now kind of one last place I'm going to show you this lick idea is taking back to the key of G and kind of taking the notes that I did up here and kind of moving those to the first, second, and third strings. So it's kind of just the same notes, just a little different configuration. So that last note is the G note on the second string. So like I mentioned, this first kind of open position version of this lick was in the key of G. And it kind of uses some notes of major pentatonic, minor pentatonic, and some chromatic stuff. But kind of a scale that you might use to kind of play around with if you're improvising with this lick would be a G major pentatonic scale. And down here in this first position, here is a basic way that you could play a G major pentatonic scale. I'm actually not starting on G, I'm actually starting on the open E, but it's still all of the notes of a G major pentatonic scale. So if I'm improvising with this lick, then those are some other note choices that you might use. Now, taking this on up to the 12th fret where we were playing this, then a basic form for the major pentatonic up there would be this. And then kind of taking this down to that other position where I showed you that utilized the first, second, and third strings. Then here is a basic way that you could play the G major pentatonic in this position. So those are just a couple of ideas, and you know, I kind of call these country licks, but you can really use them in blues, and you know, styles kind of mix these days, so it's really hard to kind of pigeonhole something into just country or just blues or just rock. So this can be any one of the above. Just realize that it can be used over kind of a G major, G7, kind of G blues-ish sound. All right, have a good one.